Some endings arrive like storms you never saw forming. Fast, forceful, impossible to stop. One moment, you're holding on to something you thought would last. And the next, it slips out of your hands like it was never meant to stay. A relationship dissolves. A dream collapses. A plan you trusted suddenly loses all stability. You look around at the pieces, stunned, confused, almost breathless, wondering how everything that once felt solid could fall apart so quickly. First, all you can feel is pain. A hollow ache opens inside your chest. The loss feels personal, sharp, almost unfair. You replay every detail in your mind, trying to make sense of a story that ended before you were ready. You ask the questions your heart can't hold anymore. Why did this end? Why so harshly? Why now? But beneath the ache, beneath the shock, beneath the layers of grief rising inside you, heaven whispers a truth your heart is not yet ready to believe. This ending is a rescue. A painful one, but a rescue nonetheless. Because there are things you hold onto that God knows cannot go with you. There are futures you imagine that God sees will eventually break you. There are people you love that God knows will not love you in the way your destiny requires. There are paths you commit to that God knows will lead you into storms designed to destroy, not shape you. And so, when your heart would stay longer than your spirit can survive, God intervenes. Not softly, not subtly, not gently, but decisively. The suddenness of the ending is not cruelty. It is mercy. Mercy that refuses to let you invest more years into something that will wound you deeper the longer you stay. Mercy that steps into the timeline you hoped for and breaks what needed to break before it broke you. You don't see it yet. Not now. Not while the ache is fresh. Because heartbreak has its own fog, and clarity cannot reach you through the smoke of what just fell apart. But even in the fog, even in the grief, something sacred is happening that your emotions cannot interpret. You were saved. Saved from manipulation you didn't yet know was forming. Saved from trust you were giving to someone who could not hold it. Saved from a future your soul would have suffocated in. Saved from a peace you didn't realize you had already lost. God does not always save you through miracles. Sometimes God saves you through endings. The ending hurts because your heart was attached. The ending hurts because you cared deeply. The ending hurts because you envisioned a future built on something that could not hold you. Pain does not mean the ending was wrong. Pain means the ending mattered. But do not confuse impact with intention. Just because something mattered to you does not mean it was meant for you. Your destiny is too valuable for God to let the wrong people or wrong paths anchor themselves to it. And sometimes the only way to free your future is to cut ties with what cannot grow with you. In the beginning, all you can see is what you lost. But God is protecting you from what you could not see at all. He sees conversations you were not present for. He sees motives hidden beneath charm. He sees betrayal forming long before it reaches you. He sees the future unfolding, the weight of it, the danger of it, the heartbreak it would have eventually caused you. So he ends what you would have spent years trying to keep alive. He closes what you would have forced open. He removes what you would have held onto out of hope rather than truth. This is not rejection. This is redirection. And though your heart doesn't feel it yet, your future is already safer than your past. Because sometimes the most loving thing God can do is not give you what you prayed for, but save you from what you settled for. One day, though not today, and perhaps not soon, you will look back and whisper, "Thank you for saving me from what I didn't know was harming me." But for now, God is not asking you to understand the ending. He is asking you to trust that He is in the ending. Because even losses that break you can be losses that build you. Even endings that wound you can be endings that free you. Even heartbreaks that shake you can be heartbreaks that save you. This moment, though painful, is holy ground. A transition disguised as loss. A rescue wrapped in grief. A redirection that feels like collapse but is actually creation. God creating space for what you truly deserve, not just what you were willing to endure. You may not see it yet, but heaven saw the danger before you saw the ending. And heaven intervened. There is a moment after every heartbreak, every collapse, every sudden ending when something subtle begins to shift. Not loudly, not dramatically, but gently, like the softest wind changing direction. You notice that the heaviness you carried begins to loosen, even if only by a fraction. Your breath deepens. Your thoughts become a little clearer. Your spirit, once crushed, begins to rise again, not in strength, but in awareness. This is the first sign that God's rescue is beginning to reveal itself. You start seeing cracks in the story you once idealized. You begin recognizing the weight you were carrying without even knowing it. The confusion you treated as normal. The anxiety you thought was your fault. The emotional imbalance you kept trying to fix. And slowly, painfully, beautifully, the truth starts to surface. What left you was not your security. It was your distraction. What ended was not your destiny. It was your detour. What broke was not your identity. It was your attachment to something too small for your calling. Pain clears the lens. And through that clarified lens, God begins to show you what He saved you from. He reveals intentions that were not aligned with your worth. He reveals patterns that would have drained your joy. He reveals dynamics that would have dimmed your spirit. He reveals futures that looked promising on the outside but were hollow within. He reveals the truth you were not ready to see when you were trying to hold everything together. And then, something sacred happens. Gratitude begins to rise from the same place grief once lived. Not gratitude for the pain, but gratitude for the protection. Gratitude for the mercy disguised as loss. Gratitude for the ending that felt like heartbreak but was really healing. You start whispering, "Thank you for not letting this continue. Thank you for seeing what I couldn't. Thank you for stepping in when I didn't have the strength to walk away." But God doesn't stop at rescue. He moves you into restoration. He begins returning pieces of yourself that were slowly slipping away. Your clarity, your confidence, your peace, your identity, your joy, your purpose. You begin rediscovering who you are without the weight of that old chapter. You begin realizing how much of yourself you muted to maintain what was breaking you. You begin stepping back into the strength you thought you lost. This is the holy rebuilding, the reconstruction of your soul, the renewal of your spirit, the restoration of your heart. And then, quietly, unexpectedly, you notice something you never imagined you would feel again. Hope. Hope in the possibility of something healthier. Hope in the promise of a future that aligns with who you are becoming. Hope in the reality that God does not close doors to leave you wandering. He closes them to lead you to better ones. And when that new door begins to open, you will recognize it immediately, not because it is perfect, but because it is peaceful. It won't confuse you. It won't drain you. It won't make you shrink. It won't leave you anxious. It won't require you to abandon yourself. It will honor you. It will expand you. It will align with the healed version of you. It will feel like clarity, not chaos. And it will be then, standing in the doorway of what God prepared for you, that you will finally see the full story. The ending you hated was the beginning you needed. So let this prayer rise from your healing heart. God, Thank you for saving me from the futures I could not see. Thank you for ending what I did not have the strength to release. Heal the places in me that still ache. Restore what was lost in the breaking. And prepare me for what comes next, the future that honors who I am becoming. Amen. If this message finds you in the middle of a painful ending, take heart. This is not destruction. This is deliverance. One day you will understand why it had to end, and you will be grateful it did.